It looks like a very quiet way to start the new trading week and Monday at the fixed income market. Let's talk to Ramat Babar of FBN Quest Merchant Bank. She's live to us from FMDQ Exchange Place. Good morning, Ramat. Let's have this conversation.
Good morning, Bosin.
Good to have you. So how's your week getting started? Looks like Monday was a little bit quiet.
Yes. In the treasury bill space, there's been very low activities. However, in the bond market, we've seen a lot of activities coming in really from the local PFEs, of course. That's just in a bid for, to utilize liquidity that came in from the June 2019 bond maturities. And don't forget, of course, FAC came in last week. And of course, everybody is trying to find outlets for this funds. With the yields coming back down on treasury bills so much, people are, a few people are having to hold bonds instead because the yield remains pretty much attractive.
Okay, so the interplay here of between the bills and the bonds, is there going to be any significant change in market sentiment as we start the second trading day? What's your opening calls here for today, Ramat?
So far, trading this morning has been quiet. Not much happening really, so it's just been business as usual. Nothing major happening. On treasury bills, I think what we've just seen is when they're attractive levels, you see people come into the market, pick those bills off, and then pretty much nothing happens. For bonds, like I said, it's just the replacement of maturing funds. And then again, in the month of July, we have coupon payments for about 4 FGM bond maturities, which totals over 200 billion. So, of course, people are still going to have to look for outlets for this liquidity.
Okay, so that's the debt office and the central bank putting this money back into the system once those the government is trying to get out of the market, as it were, or at least reduces its exposure at the marketplace. So who's taking this place, and what does that mean if you give us a short to medium outlook on yields?
Short to medium outlook on yields. For treasury bills, yes, the CBN has already said they do not want a lot of they do not want banks to be holding so much OMO bills since they are not lending to the real sector, of course. So we expect yields to remain low in that market. The CBN is definitely going to find a way to keep banks from accessing so much treasury bills. For bonds, the calendar for the Q3 auction isn't out yet, so we really don't know how much is going to be on offer and all that. But whenever that comes out, we expect it to set the tone for market activities going forward.
Okay, let's keep one permanent eye on your market. We're interested in what you folks do as part of the bigger marketplace. Thank you so much, Ramat Babar from FBN Quest Merchant Banks. From FMDQ Exchange Place. Okay, let's move on to another marketplace. That's the Nigerian Stock Exchange. Access Bank has denied rumors on social media that the bank is in mergers and acquisition talk with Union Bank or any of its shareholders. Temple Ashaju, our business correspondent. Temple, this is one story out there. I'm sure you are aware of the rumors going around, and now the bank is denying that. But first, let's bring us up to speed. How we started Monday looks like a bit of a quiet day to start on the stock markets, less than 1/10 about or so of a percent, but we're still below the 30,000 level.
Well, thank you, Boson. Basically, it was just mild gains that we recorded yesterday in the markets after some serious losses that we had all through the 5 trading sessions of last week. So yesterday we got some 7 billion naira plus and a record as to what the equity capitalization of the market, got. But the oil and gas was really down on losses around the Forte Oil and Total. Investors continue to sell off there to look for some value-given stocks in the markets to buy with whatever they can make from all of that. The banking sector too was down in spite of the fact that we saw a bit of gains around the tier 2 names like Wema Bank and Unity Bank eventually. Basically, things were cold on the market yesterday. The upside that we saw was the NASD O2C, where things moved positive by some 2.35%. And of course, that's something that tells you that some investors had also gone that way to buy some Afriland, CSCS, and Niger Delta Exploration Production Company shares on that platform of the market. But for the stock exchange, again, that's equity, we saw a bit of a positive breath. Because again, if you look at what has transpired in the last week, there was more buy sentiment given the close periods that has been announced by some companies, and the fact that H1 rather, and of course Q2 numbers will soon be trickling in from a lot of companies, both.
Yes, the close period, Dangote Cement announcing a close period as well, saying the directors of the industrial cement giant will be meeting later this month. So in the final week of July, that's from Dangote Cement. So these notices are coming in, but are they impacting? Yeah. Is there anyone taking position on that as all? GT Bank also made those announcements, say there's a likely interim dividend. So investors must be taking one close eye on those close period when those board of directors are meeting, how to position their trade.
Exactly, Bosun. I think Dangote Cement's close period should be 11th of July 2019. So a lot of investors are really taking position. That's why you see sell-off on some kind of stocks that are like high-stake games for institutional investors, and then you want to buy some of these other fundamentals, stocks with fundamentals, so to position yourself ahead, possibly for some bonus or for some kind of interim dividends that will be declared by some of these companies. That's the sense we're having in the market at this point, Bosun.
Yeah, so let's talk about Access Bank denying what you call social media rumors that is in M&A discussion with Union Bank.
Well, it's, if you recall, when that of Diamond Bank acquisition by Access Bank came into play late last year, stroke early this year, that's how it all started. So traders here are not too negative about this particular rumor. Instead, they're just keeping fingers crossed to see how things pan out. That's how it started. Access Bank issued a statement that they weren't taking over Diamond Bank. Eventually, they took over Diamond Bank. Now there's another statement from Access Bank saying that they're not buying Union Bank PLC. Perhaps it will happen, maybe not. The trading community will just continue to watch. Investors will continue to watch. Once anything near that happens in the market, of course, trust the traders and the investors. They will certainly take position. It's what they really like. If it's a good deal for them to buy, I mean, they'll go into it. If it's not going to happen, then they leave it the way it is. If you look at the shares of Union Bank right now, there's been just one trade on it all day. We haven't seen any negative reaction to it. It's still trading around 6 naira 48 kobo or thereabout. There hasn't been any negative movement around Access Bank either. So we'll wait to see how it goes. And this, of course, will make people to go to page1.ng, which is where the rumor, actually flew. Because again, if you look at the trading portal of the Nigerian Stock Exchange, you can currently find the reaction of Union Bank as well, saying that this particular story is untrue.
Okay, so Access Bank and Union Bank are not dating. That's what it is. So there's no likelihood that if they're not dating, they're not likely to get married. So, but like you said, in the case of Diamond Bank, Access Bank also denied. Diamond Bank denied they were dating, but they eventually got married. Now for Union Bank, this was a bank that recently tried to clean up its books. 54 billion naira deficit, that was recorded on the books. So maybe, and this is still maybe, there are a lot of market hearsay, you and I know that, and a lot of hearsay when it comes to the market, about perhaps Union Bank cleaning up its books is making it attractive to some other banks who perhaps have been waiting. If they clear up their books, if this girl looks good, am I just moving? Just my thoughts.
Well, that's possible. We really don't have these details. We know that Union Bank has also been in the news in recent times regarding some investigations being launched by some authorities and all that. So it's a space to watch. We also have to watch the shares, watch the share price here in the market, how investors will react to it at the end of the day, because in spite of the rumor that has gone out there, we haven't seen any reaction to it until this morning that the banks, the two banks, Access Bank and Union Bank, are now having to react to that rumor, which was on the blog post, actually. So it is now that the media themselves will now start trying to dig deep into the veracity of this particular rumor or this information, rather, that if it is true that Access Bank will be buying Union Bank or not, they will have to dig deep by going to the Apex Bank. We're looking for sources all around.
I think we should just
get that done. We know, as you said, Bosin, that they've actually done some books cleaning, but that's not enough. Of course, when with a lot of the banks here, liquidity is always a problem. The bad debts that they have on ground is a problem.
Maybe we should just Tempo. Maybe we should just try and trade
reports about the banking sector, talking about NPL ratio.
Tempo, let's trade the news and not the rumors.
10.9%.
Let's
all of this speaks to the situation in the industry.
Tempo, we need to go at this point. Thank you so much. Let's trade the news rather than trade the rumor, but the market also trade in rumors. Thank you so much, Tempo. Thank you, everyone. Today is the listing of Airtel Africa PLC, a cross listing that we've talked about for days and weeks on end. So that's happening today. Keep an eye on that, everyone. Let's chat to that tomorrow when we come back. That's Wednesday the 10th.